The O'Reilly Factor is on tonight.
It's our fault that they're blowing themselves up. That's their fault. We're strapping it on them, making them blow themselves up.
Yes, I think
you're saying that.
Sean Penn says America is responsible for the terrorism in Iraq. Is he anti-American? Is Rosie O'Donnell anti-American? We'll give you our take on the growing power of the far left.
Let me ask you a question. Does Bill O'Reilly remind you of somebody? He reminds me of somebody.
When they say you don't treat them like gentlemen, while we do, I might say that if we did not, I would not cry for them. Traitors are not gentlemen, my good friends. They don't understand being treated like gentlemen.
Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thank you for watching us tonight. Hating America, the Virginia Tech Edition. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. As we've reported, a number of far-left American websites use just about everything that happens to demean their own country. But here is something that is truly shocking. On a website run by radical writer Alexander Coburn, who has been published in magazines like Esquire and even in the Wall Street Journal, a man named Sherwood Ross wrote this, quote, "If a South Korean student is regarded as a berserk killer for murdering 32 people, what is President Bush? The American people, including the families of the murdered Virginia Tech innocents, have collective blood guilt on their hands. Who is responsible for the killings in Iraq except the same now bereaved parents of the murdered students at Virginia Tech?" Unquote. Now, this vile piece of business speaks for itself, and you can find tons of stuff like that on the far-left smear sites right this moment. I list some of them in my newspaper column this week, available right now on BillO'Reilly.com. Most Americans realize the insanity of the radical left, but the mainstream media is providing it cover. The right is consistently attacked in the print press, while the irresponsible left gets a complete pass. So the loons are getting bolder. Listen to Sean Penn tell Stephen Colbert that the USA is causing the terrorism in Iraq.
It's our fault that they're blowing themselves up. That's their fault. We're strapping it on them, making them blow themselves up.
Yes, I think
you're saying that
the United States has absolutely encouraged that kind of hopelessness.
Mr. Penn will tell you he is a loyal dissenter. In my opinion, he's a hater. He despises his country. Of course, I could be wrong. But I'm not wrong about the growing boldness of the America haters on the net. They operate without scrutiny, and now they're even threatening politicians. We'll have a factor investigation on Monday spotlighting that. In Dublin, Ireland, where I was last week, I was struck by how some in the foreign press actually parrot what these anti-American websites are spitting out. So the American haters are indeed doing what they want to do, damaging this country. When we think about the IMIS situation in light of what's happening on the net, IMIS is trivial. NBC News actually employs people that use radical propaganda. 2 New York Times columnists spit the stuff out on a regular basis, as does a Newsweek columnist. The situation is becoming flat out dangerous to this country, and we'll demonstrate that further on Monday. And that's a memo.
Once again, I'm forced to explain an opinion I don't agree with, because Bill O'Reilly is far too dishonest to. This is my first experience reading any of Mr. Ross's left-wing rants, so I can only judge him by what I read here. But from my perspective, forgetting his and Bill's polar opposite political views, they both are demagogues exploiting the tragic events at Virginia Tech for their own extreme political agendas. While I don't have much respect for Mr. Ross's column, Bill's typical hyperbolic rant is based upon carefully data-mined snippets designed to outrage his audience. Mr. Ross doesn't appear to hate America. Stripping away his completely insensitive and tasteless comparisons between Virginia Tech and Iraq, his criticisms are typical of many Americans who view the war as illegal and immoral. Many Americans feel America bears some responsibility for the violent mess in Iraq, because without our invasion, the subsequent power vacuum that has made it all possible would not exist. Agree or disagree with this point of view, but no rational adult can honestly call them un-American. Don't confuse my explanation here with me supporting any of Mr. Ross's views. I'll spare you my personal beliefs, but I can't let a popular demagogue like O'Reilly smear millions of American liberals by fishing around for the most outrageous example he can find, and then worked feverishly to distort his newly created straw man into the worst possible light.
Caution. You are about to enter the no-spin zone.
Sir, at long last, have you left no sense of decency?